Hello everyone, how are you? Are you tired already? Or still have some energy? I am absolutely sure that you didn't want to listen to WP4 results about the TIFF session, about what happened in hackathon, and so on and so forth. That's why we have created something, some exercise which is different. And actually here today, nobody is prepared. Nobody knows what happens. And I would like to invite every one of you to join to this nobody knows what happens exercise. So a fireside chat, the only rule here is that it should be about NDTPL project, about eCMR and EFTI. So starting, I would like to start with the audience because everyone, we know each other well. So maybe someone would like to say something about the project that you didn't have a space to speak up. So it can be anything that you would like to share because WP4 is about communication and dissemination. So anyone brave in this room to speak up? Or maybe, we have Matti, yes.
Thank you. Am I on? Yep. So I'd like to start with the hackathon because I think that was a memorable thing. And a big learning of the hackathon was that we were not doing the traditional hackathon where the software guys are left to do codes. They were also there. But we had the logistics companies too. And the thing I liked there was that was combining the sort of specialists, the people who are deeply involved in digital logistics and eCMR and all of these sort of stakeholders. And they had a talk with those people who have hands-on both in the logistics business and coding for the logistics business, a kind of a mix of ecosystems. And surprisingly, it worked. So I would sort of suggest that there would be some discussion how to make use of this concept also in future, because I think that there's a lot of potential in it, and we should maybe in future also consider how to get involvement of the different stakeholders in what we're doing. Just food for thought.
Yeah, Marty, thank you very much. That is a good question. Maybe someone of you would like to take this question. So Lasse, please.
I don't know, is it because we are working in the same company, but this was good that you pointed out this. In autumn, there is idea that under Melnūdris, which is Finnish organization, or not Finnish, but founded first in Finland, but now it's also international. We have also Transport Innovation Association, we have members from Estonia. The idea is that we could copy something similar and make maybe a little bit smaller, but in same scale or in same way. So we combine the business people, but also developers there, and we could have this kind of like hackathon someday there, maybe in September, let's see. It depends now a little bit if we get ready for FT project, because that gives more like resources for us. But I think we should continue this, and our developers, they said that they were very happy what was happening there.
It's really nice to hear that the initiatives that we have started, they are needed and they will be scaled in other countries. And then following up with the hackathon, I have a question here to Ieva. What do you think is the future for these businesses? And how do you think will be the progress going on in the upcoming year or two?
So judging from the people I talked to, so we had a couple of mentors who are also listening with their eyes and ears wide open what is happening and already thinking about their own platforms. So I got a sense that whoever has some platform for logistics, now they are eagerly waiting and exploring options how they can turn it into FT platform or into a tool that integrates with FT platform, as it's seen as immediate business opportunity. And what's great about our region and our countries, as we are relatively small, we are very fast. So we are just one phone call away from reaching out to ministries, reaching out to responsible institutions and asking like, what is happening? When are you going to release this information, or how you are going to do this and that? So everyone knows everyone, and we can chat quite informally. Like, Gintare, do you have any news? Did you receive any documents to review? Can you share anything? Sometimes, of course, they cannot share insights. Sometimes you may get notifications about something that is upcoming. So I would say that business is being very attentive to any news and waiting eagerly for information releases to immediately start, develop, and be among the first ones to suggest new products to the market.
So we have good news. So maybe someone has something to add to Ieva's comment.
Well, maybe I can elaborate.
Yes, please,
a little.
Marco.
There is one thing that, in my very personal opinion, maybe it is somehow neglected in the overall FT discussion. That is the role of FT service providers. We always talk about FT gates, FT platforms, but we also have the concept that is basically a concept of FT service providers. And this, in my opinion, could somehow facilitate the access to this to the FT data exchange environment to small scale logistics operator that cannot drive the game, cannot invest to adapt their platform, or they already use outsourced platform. And in this specific case, probably the role of service provider that could maybe in some specific context may be driven by associations also, not necessarily by business actors, but also by associations of freight forwarders or carriers or whatever. This association can act as service provider and facilitate the access to small scale operators to the FT data exchange environment. This could be something that could facilitate the overall success of the exchange environment itself.
And that's very important comment. So Lasse, you would like to compliment, but before that, I just have a question in my mind. So I see colleagues from Italy and from Finland, so the northern and the southern part of Europe. So do you think, from the context of digitalization, are you far away or very close?
It's a tough question. I think that I can report my impression for Italy. We have been behind for a long time in this fact, or at least in the scope of FTI. Strangely enough, Italy is very well advanced in customs, because I think it is one of the most advanced countries in Europe in the digitalization of customs, but not for the logistics and transport sector. But this somehow could be a plus, because now, especially in what we are trying to do in FT4EU project, that is this big FT that is starting right now, we hope, and starting from a very green field somehow could be beneficial, because, for instance, Italy did not transpose the eCMR convention so far, but now in Italy we can do it together with the FTI, and so we can really, starting from scratch in some way, we can really have the two things run in parallel, develop in parallel, and create a real synergy that probably having something behind and something ahead could be more difficult. So I report this experience for Italy. I think it could be valid also for other southern Mediterranean countries where maybe this sort of development is not so advanced. So my message is sometimes starting from scratch can help, and having behind in the past years, and now it is a good time to do things together.
Yeah, if I comment something, I think this is quite complex like question, because we can come on this from so many different point of views, and like digitalization is also so huge topics, and I think we have so different drivers in Finland and in Italy. Like Italy, if we consider, that's quite big market, but they are a lot of this kind of transportation that comes to the EU, and they are splitting that there. In Finland, we don't have that kind of role. Now we are in the backside of the like supply chain at the moment, or in some cases we are also shipping something out. But like I see that maybe we are quite advanced on this kind of like data-driven business and this kind of data solutions that are there on the roads. We have very good mobile networks and that kind of issues. But then when we compare like supply chains, I think there we might be quite equal, like between Italy and Finland. Like if we look the whole supply chain, how all the stakeholders are sharing, it's quite manual. It's quite much based on the paper still. But there are some, like, this is very hard question to say right or wrong answer for this.
Yes, we have a comment from the audience.
I'm living in probably the smallest country here, yeah. And there is a very, very, very clear message from our logistics operators. They are only going to do the investment and switch really from paper documents to electronic documents or electronic exchanges when two conditions are met. Condition of course, regulation, the condition of harmonizing the exchange of goods when the goods are to the consignee. But there is one thing which I really like of what you are doing in the Baltic countries. There are many things, but at least that one. In the Nordic countries, that is, we have to make sure that the EFTI way of implementation is the same across Europe. Because especially for companies which are located in smaller countries, which drive all around Europe, they have no message when there is a different implementation of EFTI. In Estonia, another one in Finland, another one in Spain, another one in France, another one in Germany. So I think that we are in a unique situation, and I think we have that responsibility to try to find simple solutions which are the same across Europe, in such a way that when the truck is driving from Spain to Estonia, that they don't have to think, what do I need in France, what do I need in Germany, what do I need? We have to make sure that it is harmonized. And from tomorrow on, I think we have to work on that.
Thank you. Thank you, Rudi. Anyone else?
May I add some comment as well?
Yes.
We have analyzed the situation quite many times as well, that when we are sending the truck from Tallinn to Germany, is it possible that some countries on the road doesn't have electronic ability to check electronically? It means that when the truck is starting to drive from Tallinn, destination in Germany, and for example Latvia or Lithuania cannot accept electronic waybills, it means that the driver anyway have to have those papers, because it is possible that the truck will be stopped. And for the service provider point of view, or trucking company point of view, the digitalization then doesn't make sense, because then you anyway should have two parallel systems, one which is working paper-based, and second which is working digitally. So you have twice as complicated process, which is not where we would like to be. So it means that it is extremely important that we will building chain. All neighbor countries will accept digital shipments, and this is the only way we can build those digital corridors. That's why this Finland and Italy must be in quite the same level and interconnected, and all rest of those countries on the way as well.
Yeah. And talking about our then region and also referring to this readiness for EFTI. Heiti, you are from Estonia. Andris is from Latvia. You are neighboring countries. What would you advise to each other? What should be your next steps in order you could, for example, between two countries already go paperless?
It is very good question. First, in one hand, I would say that we already have something because Latvian trucks, which are transporting, for example, forest to Estonian wood mills, actually using electronic documentation, and thanks to that, they can carry up to 52 tons instead of 46. So there are like some benefits, and also some wood mills accepted and able to work with waybills. But in another hand, I would like to see more cooperation also in governmental level. So ministries can also work together by legislation, exchange information, and like we have done with Finland, for example, where our two kind ministries signed memorandum of understanding that we would like to build the FTGate together. I'd like to see that we can have similar agreement with Latvia and also with Lithuania and so on.
That's a very nice answer. And Andris, what's your
yes, I think building a common EFTI gate also maybe for all 3 Baltic countries would be a nice idea, and maybe also including Finland. So that's just let's keep our heads together and talking generally about Baltics, we are quite small. We have different languages, but still we are very close relations. We are friendly and cooperating, and I think we can build much things together. We had even sometime before we had an idea about such Baltic IT cluster, because we have not enough specialists maybe in one country, but we have in another, and we could cooperate in common projects. And I think it's some partly is happening actually, and I hope it will be even more, because digital technologies, this is so we can be here and be the same time do job for anywhere in the world. So this is our strengths, and also we don't have very expensive, like we don't have so much. Of course we have wood, but not so much. We are small countries, but we have clever people, and I think we have to use this our asset. We are small, we can pilot things, we can build very fast change and deliver something, and so that other countries maybe can learn something from us. So this is what we can do, and I hope also with Estonia and Lithuania we can be front runners in this also EFTI. I hope so, together with others who are in this room. So I hope we can, because we have good with the Ginno project, with Dinno Cup, and now and the TPL, and I hope also next initiatives we building step by step. Because anyway, it's always maybe you start first, you have to go on step by step, because otherwise some other will take on this. And I think we have to use what we have achieved and continue this.
Yes, indeed. And during Transport Innovation Forum, we had a discussion which should go first, government or private sector, and it is very much international level. And here I would like to ask Eva to share your experience. How do you find the cooperation between private and governmental sector changed having these projects or having more knowledge about eCMR, EFTI, and digital solutions in general. And another question, of course, you cannot answer this. This is your choice. So you already have joint agreements, memorandums with Finland. So when is your plan to sign with Latvia and Lithuania?
Thank you for these questions. Answering this, I need to go back to 2019, where Estonian Ministry of Economic Affairs announced or launched this kind of program for Accelerated Estonia. And this was just for startups, actually, meant for startups. And the government was asking businesses to come up with the solutions that could be beneficial for government as a startup form. And one solution that Heiti came up was actually eCMR solution. And then I think from there, the collaboration with the private sector started to boom a lot, because how it went was that the startups were chosen, and also eCMR solution was one of them, and then it was funded also by this program, and it was given support as a mentor and these kind of tools to develop it further and to reach to the point that it could be also beneficial for the sector. So I think these kind of initiatives are really good to think out of the box kind of, and to show that to the private sector that actually public sector isn't like a old elephant sitting in a room doing nothing. That sometimes we want to be more agile and do cool stuff sometimes, but we can't do it ourselves, and that's why we need this collaboration. And of course, talking about the memorandum of understanding, we are very happy to sign it with also other countries. So, and it only took us like 3 months maybe to sign it. It's not something that you can do overnight. It takes time. But yes, as we saw in the beginning of our seminar today, that political will is very important to get things done. And I think these kind of papers that may seem like nothing because it's not legally binding, but actually it's getting this importance to this subjects and issues that are being developed.
Yeah, I add one comment to that as well. As I was the project leader for eCMR in the Accelerate Estonia, I see the biggest benefit for me was that no ministry cannot say no to me. So all doors was open. So I was able to go, ask, and start cooperation and also explain the idea. So it was, I think this was the best part, that the tax authorities, police, all public authorities must be able to work with me. So they got the understanding what we are doing, and we got very well those public authorities on board with the topic. Yes.
Great, thank you.
Can I comment on that?
Yes.
One of the next challenges that we will face is how we engage business side, and we should need, or we need something similar that you had there, like this kind of green line for the ministry doors. We should have some kind of same kind of green line for the company doors also. How we can go there and tell them what is FT, how we can do, what you could do with this, because at the moment still most of the companies, they don't have any clue what is FT. And somehow we should make this bridge between these pioneers, what we are representing here, and the real companies, how they could implement, what kind of benefits they can get out from this, because sometimes they see that very narrow, some very advanced companies might see that it's very big, and as Marko said, that there are so many opportunities still how you will handle that. EU is not like putting us in a very small box. They actually are giving for the FT platforms and how you utilize FT on the business side quite much freedom. And we should be now next talking with the business sector how they will do this, because I see that we have the momentum at the moment. There is a lot of business. It has been discussed already so many times in these talks. We should now utilize that somehow and make that bridge between the public and the private, and put business also, and consider, like Rudi was saying, that we need this kind of scalable solutions, and networking is part of this kind of scalable solutions, but it needs to be also like sustainable on a like business wide also.
And to reach these aims, so that was one of our tasks in the work package 4. So we had this session and Transport Innovation Forum, and we'll continue this this year as well on the 23rd and 24th of November. Transport Innovation Forum in Vilnius will take place. All of you are welcome. And also the hackathon and the articles. Do you think maybe there's anyone can take this question? Are there any other means that we could launch? We could think of for this information dissemination? Because as far as I understand, there is always an issue of lack of information, because especially small and medium enterprises, they do not know about the regulation that is coming up and what are the challenges they will have to face.
In one hand is we are missing information, in another hand is too much information, so you don't know which one is important.
Yeah.
I think we have to showcase good examples, success stories, because that's always work. If you look at your competitor or partner which is doing better than you, or using really these digital solutions, then you can think about this. Otherwise, you have a lot of information, a lot to do, and you are not paying attention maybe to this. What are possibilities and technologies they are developing very fast. Was also a comment about this hackathon and coding people talking with some transportation people. But probably there are also some people in between, some system architects, project managers. Because, for example, now everybody is talking about ChatGPT, about artificial intelligence. Probably this will also play a role. We even don't know what is the role, but maybe we can use this example of what was the situation of COVID. In one day, many people, many companies, they were able to start work remotely. They were able to sell products online because that was there were no options. Yeah, the people of course are lazy. It's very easy to do how you have been doing and not change if it's possible. If not possible, people are starting like a little bit more using their brain. And I think the potential is very great, but I think one is really to talk about showcases, to show what is the benefits. Also maybe work more with governments, and I think many businesses are waiting from government signals that this will be the way how it will be done, and maybe many are waiting if it's uncertainty. Now, for example, we don't have the specification and so on. Many are waiting. Yeah. But if at some point government says that, okay, it will be done so, okay, we make a seminar, some conference and talk about this, then I think it will help to facilitate the process.
Yeah. Ieva, you are working as a consultant with a transport company, so could you complement what Andris has said? What those companies they need and what they lack? What's your experience?
I agree with Andris that a clear message or some certainty is needed, as some companies that have dedicated resources and programmer teams, they might have a bit more flexibility to adapt to change, but a lot of companies have very limited resources to buy something, so they will select to buy final product, the one that they know is compliant, it already works, so they will be followers of innovation adoption. But if we are targeting those who will be testing quite new solution or solution that is still changing, we need to give them as much certainty as possible that this is already clear, we are sure that we are going this way, and reducing this uncertainty gradually so that company can invest the least amount of resources they can into adding a product to their portfolio or to adopt new product. And I feel like public sector is getting more and more of this push or expectation that they are going to show clear path, or that they are going to have clear messages that this is happening, and in order to keep up or to follow up, you have to do this, this, and that. So it's translating it into quite simple steps that we know this for sure, and you can start working on it. Or in some cases, even allocating resources to certain programs. So I really like what Estonia did. Again, I'm extremely envious of this initiative. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Enterprise Estonia who are funding 50% of costs to develop solutions related to FT ecosystem. So 50% is a really significant amount of money for companies already to try and create something new and to risk. So I think that is incredible example how to encourage private sector to participate, and also to give them access to public sector, because public sector institutions are leading this initiative, so the relationship is very, very close. You can immediately ask questions, get the latest information, and I think that's a very good example how to advance some technical solutions.
So this is kind of a sharing responsibility and minimizing this uncertainty, I guess. And I see here a beautiful crowd of German colleagues, and I would like to, I have a question. So do companies in Germany also feel that uncertainty, or how do they react? Are they also ready, or are they ready for FT? How in Germany this situation is at the moment? Christian, or I don't know.
Yep, second one.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to confirm that I have a feeling that in Germany the companies aren't really informed and ready yet. So we tried to, we offered a workshop. So we thought we go where the companies are. Where do the companies gather? For example, at a fair. So we went to Transport Logistics Munich, which is the biggest logistics fair. Well, I don't know in the world, but a very big one. And I thought it's a good idea to go there and to offer a workshop on all aspects of FD. And after the workshop, I had to think about why it didn't work so well, because I really didn't have a lot of attendance. And from that point, and I tried to actively promote the workshop. So, for example, not only being in the program of the conference, I had colleagues that ran around handing out flyers, like physical flyers for the event. And I had really not very many participants. So I realized several problems, but one is that I think that the companies, as long as they don't exactly know when does it start, what it is about, what is it, what's in there for me, they will not really engage in it. This is what my suggestion for German companies only. But also the workshop was too long, I think, and a fair, they don't have that much time, and my goal was to inform from all the aspects, and I think people felt like they can't invest all the time. So I would like to do it again, but in a shorter version. Yeah, and how do we support? I also think we absolutely need forerunners. We are trying to engage. Yeah, we are trying to engage a foundation to be the forerunners, because we have a few very big logistics companies, German ones, that created a foundation. It's called Open Logistics Foundation, and it's connected to the Dortmund Institute of Logistics and Material Flows. It's an institute researching logistics. And I already talked to one of the companies, is DB Schenker, and they are interested at least. I mean, they wouldn't say no at this point, so I hope they're gonna stay with it. So this is my idea, to get a few forerunners involved in the project, and also the Institute of Material Flows and Logistics. I have a project with them to develop a platform. So this way, and we want to have an open resource development that companies can use for free to build in their systems, or to develop an offer for smaller companies, because we think there will be there will probably be two developments. The bigger ones will have their own platforms, and the smaller ones will use platform offers as a business model and pay a small fee maybe. And so we are helping the Open Logistics Foundation with money to develop with the institute the platform Open Resource, and we hope this is gonna push the whole project. Yeah, so that's what we do.
This is very innovative approach. Yes, please, Christian.
I have not much to add. Just to summarize what I've learned from the workshop, it was that the bigger companies like DB Schenker or DB Cargo, all the bigger companies that are dealing already with eCMR and having ideas how to implement eCMR and how to use it, are focusing also on the next steps, and they have also the capacity to follow what's going on the European Commission and following the discussion on FT. So they have their plans, they have their ideas, but these are only the bigger companies, and the smaller companies are not there. They are currently on their own business, and I think they will come when first solutions for service providers are provided, service platforms, FT platforms that can be provided. Then they will also realize that there is something where they can take profit on.
The interesting insight. Any other comments? Yes,
yeah.
Heiti?
I have worked very closely with one of the Estonian electronic vehicle service provider, and especially to learn cooperation with small transportation companies. And they're thinking that if the transport order demands, they will agree. It means that maybe the key point is not transportation companies, because their service is transportation. They don't care about digitalization or any kind of, they're following the rules. And quite oftenly, who is bigger companies are ordering transportation, if they will say that, okay, I need that when you are carrying my goods, I would like to have electronic waybills. And this is saving for them actually a big amount of time. I can bring one example. We have agricultural company who are in the high season will order in the months 5,000-6,000 deliveries. Can you imagine 5,000-6,000 paper-based waybills for the bookkeepers who are trying to figure it out to whom send invoices? Electronic waybills, it's real time, it's there already, you don't have to do anything. So we have to understand who is saving, where is the business model for this kind of services, and who need to pay for that. Because small transportation companies, they are not even ready to pay maybe €5 for months, because it's, again, something additional for them.
Lasse?
Yeah, a couple of comments. all what we are now doing, this is kind of change management, what we are doing. And I think what Lauri said there before the lunch, it's about the mindset and how we can change that. And this is something that we need to do. And I like the approach that in Germany they have this kind of foundation. I see that is kind of community, and this is kind of community that we have already. And if we benchmark, for example, what happened when MAS was established, it was first very small group, a couple guys, then there was ITS Finland, board was there. Matti was on those days already there. Then it started to be public-private partnership. There was Finnish ministry participating. Soon that was a little bit bigger, and someday it was not anymore community. Then it was already business. But I say that from our point of view, now in FT we have that good thing that there is EU directive which says that this need to be established. So there is possibility that this will be sustainable business. But I think this kind of community approach is very important, because that's the first thing where we really agree and we say that, okay, we can share something between us and we are looking on the same direction. We had also with Hermanni and with Harri Pyykkä from VTT, we were writing one article about this, and I think this Baltic corridor is good, this kind of cradle for this, and we can build this here together with our rest of the EU colleagues to make it happen really in EU. But I think this community that we have, this is very important to sparkle all this FT in real world.
Lasse, that was a beautiful summing up and finalizing speech, or how to call this. I guess that the time is out. Thank you very much. I hope that you enjoyed this unprepared exercise and learned something new. So see you in the coffee break.